Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, good moment to you, wherever and whenever you are on this sweet, wild, sacred earth. I'm Julie Ling, and from the wild sweetness of my very own heart, this is the voice of wonder. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for joining me. As I play the flute, I invite you to let yourself settle in to the moment, to your body, and relax. Well, I adjust the flute so the sound comes out. What I meant to say was while I adjust the flute so the music comes out. How could you adjust yourself so your music, whatever its form or shape is, comes out more easily, more flowingly, more fluidly, more effortlessly, more joyfully, more beautifully? As you listen, I invite you to consider this possibility. And I invite you to notice your breath, how you're already being breathed. The breath coming in, bringing you freshness, life, chi, prana, ki. And as you breathe out, the carbon dioxide that's no longer needed is released. The breath, like the tide that rises and falls, that comes and goes. And as the breath rises and falls within you, without your having to do a thing, you are being breathed. It's not something you have to intend or do or focus on or strive for. You don't wake up in the morning saying, today I'm going to breathe, damn it. At least I hope not. And if the most precious thing in life is already here, breathing you, what else is already here for you? And just as I needed to adjust the headpiece on my flute so the air would be split to make the sound, to make the music, I invite you to notice, what fine, small adjustment do you need to make to allow that breath that is already given, that's already here, that's already moving through you, the metaphorical breath, to flow through you as your music? That could be anything. I have a friend who loves spreadsheets. And one day I said, you love spreadsheets? Can I touch you? so foreign to me. And some people do love spreadsheets. Some people love tinkering with mechanical things. Some people love music or words, whatever it is that you love, whatever that is, what tiny, simple adjustment, maybe that's been so obvious you haven't seen it, can you make to help your music flow through you? I don't know. And I'm guessing that you do. I spoke with a friend yesterday who said, it started out so good and really sweet, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this person was cranky, and then I got cranky, and the other person was cranky, and I don't want to be that way. And I know that feeling like, oh man, this is not where I want to be. This is not how I want to be. And yet, when we push away how we are, we create resistance. And I think underneath, for me, and perhaps for my friend, there's this energy of, I did it wrong. I did something wrong. It was so good and it felt so good. And now it doesn't. I must have done something wrong. How can I go back and change it so I can make it right, so I can feel that good now? And I don't know how to go back. What I do know is that it's usually possible to meet yourself in the moment. And what I found works for me when that critic comes up that says, you did it wrong, or you would feel good right now. You did it wrong, or this would be going differently right now. The kindest thing I can say to that part is, of course you wanted it to stay feeling good. Of course you want to feel better than you do. And you didn't do anything wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. And I'm going to stop pushing on you, against you, and meet you where you are. This cup held up, asking to be filled with love. I'm going to fill with love for you, this part of me inside. And I invite you, as you listen now, to notice any part of you that's asking, please, to be filled with love, and offer it up, even a little bit, even an IV drop of love. When I was a very little girl, I attended nursery school, and I liked it for the most part. And the only day I really, really fully remember, and I don't remember the day, I just remember the moment. I grew up in the States. I still kind of live in the States. And this was the 60s, and for lunch we were served grilled cheese sandwiches cut in diamonds and tiny glasses of milk. And I loved milk, and I'm allergic to it now, go figure. Probably was then too, and no one knew. And the teacher would come around and we held up our glasses to be filled. And she came around and I held up my glass And she filled it up and I drained it. It wasn't very big. I think it probably held 3 ounces. I drained it, and with a milk mustache shining on my face, I held the cup up again, and she reached back her hand and slapped me across the face. And for a long time, until a year or two ago, I could still feel the heat on my face. And I was doing some work in a program yesterday, and this memory came up, and I realized that I had been asking. And so unconsciously, subconsciously, I had learned that when I asked, what I would get was anger and a slap across the face. And this morning, as I was brushing my teeth before I came in here, I realized that I wasn't just asking, I was asking for more. I literally was holding the cup up, asking for more. And what I got was an anger and a slap across my face. And it's almost 6 years later, and I'm only now realizing that I've allowed myself the minimum. And I've been sure that if I asked for more, what I would get, and what I often have gotten, was anger and an energetic slap across the face. And right now, what I realize is that I'm the one. When I was 3, I didn't know any better. When I was 3, I was hardly me, A.A. Milne said in the poem, Now We Are 6. I didn't know. And now I have the capacity to fill that cup, to say, yes, you get to have more than 3 ounces of milk. You get to have more than the tiniest bit of the thing you're asking for. And I invite you to notice wherever it is in your life you learned that you didn't get to ask, and you certainly didn't get to ask for more, and even that maybe having it was selfish or gluttonous or taking from someone else. And I invite you to just in this moment be with that part and tell her or him or they or it, whatever your pronouns are, you didn't do anything wrong. And maybe this is the piece we adjust so that the air, the sacred breath moves through us, flows through us in a way that releases our music into the world. Wherever you may have learned, whether it was intentionally taught or not, I know now that slap across my face was about this other woman. When I mentioned it to my mother decades later, she said, but don't you remember we talked about that? She was fired that day. And now I just feel sad for her that she was in so much pain that she would slap a 3 or 4-year-old across the face for asking for another 3 ounces of milk. And wherever she was slapped across the face, I hope healing has come for her. And I hope that a little more healing has come for you today, that you have the capacity to love and soothe that place, that face. I've come to believe the balm of Gilead is loving kindness, is compassion, is empathy, is care, is filling that empty cup with love. And today I want to give you a free pass the golden seal that says you have the right to fill your own cup with your own love. You have the right to ask it of yourself. You have the right to receive it because you were born, because you are here walking on this sweet, wild, sacred earth. You are already worthy and already deserving of your own love and of the 3-ounce glass of whatever you asked for and didn't get. That was about them having learned they couldn't ask and couldn't receive. And when we claim this for ourselves, we offer this to everyone we touch and everyone they touch. So I invite you today, even for this moment, even when you think of it during the day, to remember that those voices are always a call for love. And you get to let yourself be the one to fill that cup. And not only that, as you practice giving and receiving to and from yourself, it's a little easier to ask out there for a little more. And you get to have more than the bare minimum. You get to have more than the bare essentials. And you haven't done anything wrong. Rumi said there's a field beyond all notion of right and wrong. I'll meet you there. This is meeting you there. Listen and let it fill up your heart. So my desire for you today is to remember you haven't done anything wrong. And even if it looks wrong, even if it's something you wish you hadn't done, the big mistakes are the ones we have the capacity to get really well and never do it again, or at least do less and less and less until they're no longer part of our repertoire, part of the scale of what flows through us. So today, I invite you, when you notice that call inside, to fill that cup with your own love. That it's okay to ask for a little bit more, and maybe even out there, to ask for a little more. Because you are worthy of more than enough. And you are already more than enough. So today, let your heart sing. That shift in your chair, that shift in the tuning that allows what is already your music to pour through you. Today, let your heart and that music sing a little bit more. I'm Julie Ling. This is the voice of wonder. Have a beautiful and a blessed day.